Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thanks for joining us for another live session Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, doing Q&A for 30 minutes. Your questions live about U.S. immigration, general kind of educational content, not intended for case individual specific guidance. We can do a private consultation for that, but it's just to take your questions because the U.S. immigration system can be very confusing. So I want to do my best to kind of help out to give you a better understanding of what the process is. As part of this, we give away 3 free video consultations. All you got to do is like and subscribe wherever you're watching this and write consultation in the comment section. And my wonderful assistant, Katrina, every 10 minutes for this 30-minute show, so three different times, will name somebody from Meet that wins our free video consultation, 15 minutes to talk about it. All you got to do, again, is like, subscribe, and write your consultation in the comment section. We'll choose somebody so we can talk in private about your case and get a better idea of what's going on, where you can talk more openly. So be prepared for that. And also, if you're interested in a marriage, green card, a fiance case, and you want to learn a lot about it, just download my guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. Go to the website, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And there you can learn the best stuff about this process and A to Z of it. There's a lot more, obviously, but we put a lot of info and content in this 40-plus page guide that's going to help you out. So definitely check that out. I think you'll like it. And having said that, let's start the show. All right, the first question, we got to jump into Instagram. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, we're everywhere. And Instagram, as I said, is from Mirza Ritz. Says, sir, can you explain a little bit about the EB-3 visa? The EB-3 visa is a work visa or a green card, really, where if you have an employer you are lined up, they can apply for you to get a green card. One of the first steps is to see how much they're supposed to pay a person in your job position and with your qualifications. And they also have to then advertise to make sure there's no one else in the United States they do the job. Eventually, they submit an application called Form I-140 based on all that. And if you're in the United States lawfully, you could do adjustment of status or go through the embassy to process it. Now, the timelines vary by a lot. For most of the world, this is going to take 2 to 4 years. Right now, it goes faster sometimes. But if you're from, for example, India, it could take much, much longer. But that's the EB-3 work visa for unskilled workers, primarily. It's a good process if you get an employer. Again, you need someone's going to hire you and all this kind of stuff. But it's a good process to undertake. But thank you for the question. All right, so next question popping up. Salma Rabani asks, hi, John, how many times can you renew your green card? You can renew your green card indefinitely. Now, if you have a 2-year green card that's going to become a 10-year green card, you just need to do that once and get it approved. But after that, you can renew it every 10 years indefinitely. Now, you can only file to renew it technically within 180 days of its expiration. Sometimes they're flexible on that. But you could do it. There's people who never apply for citizenship. Having said that, if you have a good citizenship case, why not just file for citizenship to avoid having to pay money every 10 years? And, the risks. So if you're a green card holder, they change the rules on you, that's bad. It could be problematic. If you get into some sort of criminal activity, even by accident, that could be bad. You can make mistakes. You accidentally vote. That's problematic. So it's better just be a citizen. But some people don't want to be for various reasons, so you're not forced to. You could just continue renewing your green card. One of the positive aspects, again, of citizenship is that the green card, you got to maintain your life here and continue living in the United States. But if you want to take 2 years off or 4 years off and go live overseas or outside the United States, you can still do stuff like getting a reentry permit to help hold you over, but it's just easier being a citizen. As a green card holder, it leads to kind of problems if you try to do that. So it's not recommended to leave on here. So the flexibility goes away. And so that's something to be mindful of in this process. You don't want to lose that. But that's that. So thank you for your question. And we'll take the next one. Fortifaya asks, hey, my husband's interview was last September and he still hasn't got his visa. So I'm guessing your husband did his interview at the U.S. Embassy abroad. Unfortunately, sometimes you go into a thing called administrative processing, and it takes forever. Now, September interview. Well, September is just a month ago, a couple weeks ago, really, probably. So it's not that big a deal. But if it lingers on for many months, like 6 months, you should consider first talking to a lawyer to see what the potential issues are, or maybe filing a lawsuit against the government to say, hey, we want you to hurry up the process and make a decision. That may be the thing to do, but it depends on your case and your facts. We really want to be clear for that. Got a question on Instagram. Mirza Ridas from Pakistan. Will it take so long or a bit early? It's going to take a couple of years. For The issue with Pakistan right now is not only will it take a couple of years to get the process started and finished for the green card, eventually you're going to have to do an embassy interview. And right now in Pakistan, it's taking like over a year, 2 years to get an interview. So I'm not sure what's going to happen if they're going to speed the process up, but there's going to be many, many years of waiting for that process to finish. I mean 3, 5 years, something. If you're from India, it's much longer. So it's all relative, but it's still long. It's kind of annoying. But thank you for your question. Desmond says, can you help in the EB3 process? Yes, we have a associate, senior immigration associate focus on employment-based visas, always causing at our firm. Just send us an email to schedule a consultation. But no, if you're going to do an EB3, employment-based, you have to have an employer, and the employer is going to pay for large portions of the case, not you. So a lot of people contact us, they help us EB3, but they don't have an employer, so it's a waste of time. So you really want to have the employer, and it's the employer really need to talk with first to talk about what's going on in the process, and if they want to sponsor you, because they're the primary client at first until we progress in the case and it gets about your background. So just contact and schedule consultation for that. Next question, Francine asks, how long is the I-130? So it's not possible to answer your question because the I-130 is a petition for alien relative. It can be an application for a parent, a sibling, brother, sister. It could be children, adult children, or minor children, a spouse. It could be based on the U.S. citizen filing, or it could be based on a green card filing. And each of these have different timelines. And so when you just say I-130, is just impossible. It's not giving us enough information to be able to answer your question. Umar asks, hi, I couldn't get an answer on my question last time. I just want to ask, I'm a divorced green card holder. So what's challenged in naturalization interview or process that my green card is marriage-based? Thank you. Well, if you have renewed your 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, that issue goes away. What challenges really depends on your unique circumstances. So without knowing your whole life and facts, I can't say. But if you're in a valid relationship and you had evidence that was valid and nothing fishy was happening, there's no fraud accusations and stuff like that. What challenges? It's just a typical case, but I can't say what challenges exist for you because I don't know anything about you, Amir. So this is what private consultation are for, through immigration history, to see if any exist, and maybe they don't, maybe there's no, but without going to the facts and knowing about your whole life and how you got the green card, your relationship, and your criminal history background, if any, and your travel history background and tax background and all this kind of stuff, it's not really something I could tell you about through this program. It's just general education kind of stuff. Thank you for your question. Melvin says, when your I-130 is approved, what's next? Well, it depends, like the previous case, it depends on what kind of I-130 it is that you have. But eventually, if you're overseas, you do consular processing. It's going to be, depending on what type of I-130 it is, it could be 6 months, it could be 15 years before that process starts. If you're in the United States and your case is current, you can file for adjustment of status. Now, let me take a quick question on Instagram. Hanan asks, Dear John, could you please inform me what are the rules and regulations involving transferring money more than $10,000 from Iran to the United States? Sorry, that's not a visa-related question. Thank you. Yes, it's not a visa-related question. The amount doesn't matter. This is a question about transferring money at Iran, regardless of the amount, whether it's $1 or $1 million. This is for the Office of Foreign Asset Control, an OFAC question, and I don't practice OFAC law, so I recommend contacting another attorney that focuses on that kind of stuff to help you with guidance on that. Okay, next question. Ricardo asks, how long is your EADs taking to process right now? So most of the EADs I deal with are the C9 category, which is adjustment of status. You have a green card case pending, and you file for employment-based employment authorization document or work permit with it. It was getting approved as fast as 5 weeks, but right now it's 7 or 8 months. It went back to the long duration that it takes. I just got one approved. I got the EAD actually this morning. It took 8 months, so it took forever. Now, there's different categories of work permits depending on the basis of it. It could be based on asylum. It could be based on this. It could be based on that. So when you ask EAD processing, we got to know exactly what's going on in what type of EAD you're working with, EAD you're asking about. But also, just because it took me 7 months in one case, someone else might get it in 2 weeks. It's all over the place, these timelines, but just expect delays. It seems like what's going on right now. Dowdy asks, I took the English test and the U.S. history and government test and passed it, but the officer who was charged required me to fill up this form I-751 instead of I-90. What I have to do? Well, it's a major problem right there. So the I-751 form is if you got your green card based on marriage and your green card is relatively new, you're supposed to file a form I-751 to get the green card from a 2-year to a 10-year. Many times when people file these cases on their own without help of an attorney, or they get a notary or something like that help them, they accidentally file form I-90, which is renewing and extending a 10-year green card. So this is a major issue that could have you sent to immigration court if you don't work fast. It was nice that the officer helped you out with this, but you need to file Form I-751 potentially. I don't know your case. I don't know enough about you to be able to tell you what's going on here, but you really need to talk with an immigration attorney in private and do it as fast as possible, because this is could be a major issue, cause a lot of delays. It's a mess. If the officer is correct that you didn't file I-751, you're lucky you're not in removal court, so you need to do some stuff to get things up and running to get that in. I want to announce our winner of a free video consultation. Eric Khan asked questions about naturalization. Please take a screenshot of where you're watching this so I know the user is you from the screenshot and the username, and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. That's info@jqqlaw.com. That's my email, and we'll schedule a time to have a private video consultation for 15 minutes. For those just tuning in, we give away free video consultations. All you got to do is watch the live show that you are right now, print like, subscribe, and write consultation in the comment section. And my wonderful assistant, Katrina, will name somebody in 10 minutes and 20 minutes. We'll give away 2 more free video consultations. And a side note, if you're interested in learning about marriage-based immigration or fiance visas, I have a great guide that breaks it all down. Go to go to this website to download the ultimate marriage green card guide. It's www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and check that out there. Got a quick question on Instagram. It's not too quick, and I talk about this a lot, so I'll kind of be brief about it. But could you talk about the K-1 visa? How long does it take? So it's hard to say how long these things take, and we get a lot of these questions on how long things take. But a fiance visa has gone longer and longer. First, there's 3 steps for a fiance visa to lead to the ultimate, maybe 4 to get to the end. First, you have to prove your relationship is real with USCIS, the Immigration Department in the United States, with Form I-129F. Right now, that's taking 13, 14 months, unfortunately. It's gone longer. Once that's approved, you have to have an embassy appointment scheduled. It used to be really fast, but right now it could take 2 to 3 months to get the appointment. It could take 1 or 2 years to get the embassy appointment, depending on which embassy that you're dealing with. But eventually you do an interview. If the visa is approved, and you know how long it's going to take for them to approve it, you come to the United States, get married, and file for adjustment of status. And it depends on your local field office. It could be 3 months, it could be 2 years until the case is done there. And you may have an in-person interview where you go. So that's the whole situation in short. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. And so you just gotta you talk with the attorney in private who knows the country you're dealing with and has experience. I get like attorneys who just say, "Oh, fiance visa will take 6 months." It's like, wait, that's not right. Talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. And Rod's asked, "I'm a U.S. immigrant. Is it possible to get sponsored by a U.S. citizen?" That's not how the process works. Rod's definitely consult an attorney in private. If you're an immigrant, that means you have a green card. And so I don't even know what you mean by getting sponsored by a U.S. citizen. The question is hard for me to put together, but thank you for asking anyways. All right, next question on the other platforms. Desmond asks, for a skilled worker, how can we contact the employers? Just like you would contact any employer in any country if you want to find a job. It's finding a job, essentially. Go find a job. That's all you got to do. I don't have any more information on that. Simon asks, my mom is a green card holder, but she's illiterate and only 45 years old and has been a green card holder living here for 1 year. Can't she apply? I'm suing for citizenship. I don't know. This is too individualized a question for me to answer that. We need a private consultation about that. I got to see her whole situation, how long she's had the green card per se, what her health condition, mental health is, and potentially it may say she needs to be able to speak. 45 is pretty young. She can't use most of the waivers of the language requirements or reading or writing, so she has to go based on health situation. So that's one. But another thing is, you say she's been a green card holder living here for 1 year. You got to be a green card holder for at least 5 years to even be able to apply for U.S. citizenship, unless she got her green card based on marriage to U.S. citizen, which could be faster. So it's gonna be a while before anything goes down, but this kind of stuff you should talk with an attorney in private about. Desmond asks, what is the processing time for fiance visas currently? I did answer that in detail a second ago on Instagram, so I just refer you to the conversation I just had. Melvin asks, my wife filed for me. I'm Nigerian while she is in California. Well, congratulations. Fortunately, Nigeria is a backed up country, so it's going to take a while to get the interview. Colleagues told me it could take maybe 2 or 3 years at least to get that case done for Lucky. So be prepared for that, Melvin. But congrats on getting married, and just keep it up. And so he asks, what is a normal wait time for work permit after biometrics? It's been 2 months for me. I've been waiting. There's no correlation or timelines based on biometrics, so it has nothing to do with how long it'll take to get a work permit. Biometrics is something you have to do, but once you've done it, it could be 2 months to get a work permit. It could be a year. there's no correlation. It just depends on when USCIS gets around to issuing your work permit. Alcapitano says, how long is it getting the interview in a C9 category? It just depends on your local immigration office, field office to get the interview, and each case is different. The same office might do your friend and get their friend done in 3 months. It might take you 2 years. So there's no good answers that's reliable. He says, hi to you. Notorious23 asks, what do you think will happen to DACA recipients? Legal experts believe the courts will end it within the coming weeks. What's your prediction? Because I am a legal expert, I can tell you what the truth is, that no one knows because we don't have a crystal ball. So any legal expert that said the court's going to do this stuff, unless they have some inside information that a judge is telling them, there's nothing reliable that could be said. So I wouldn't bother, trying to see what predictions are, just see what the truth is when it happens. And if you are a DACA person, you should always be prepared. I said this before, it was unpopular. I got some hate over it, but you should be prepared for leaving the United States and how life would be overseas. I don't want that to happen. I handle DACA cases, want help, and help DACA people get green cards even. But knowing that this is like a shaky ground we're on with these kind of things, I would say if I was in a situation, I would make sure I speak the foreign language that for the home country really well. I think about how can I start a business in the United States that can work with the home country so that when you go back, you can have a good standard of living and figure out some other situation to come back. It's not what you want to hear. I don't want you to go, but you got to be realistic and think down the line and like a chess match long term to strategize all the different things that could happen. Be prepared for anything. That's the best way to deal with it. I don't handle predictions. I just handle preparation and strategy. Sweet Gains asks, I sent 5. It's a work permit more than 8 months. Is that normal? Yeah. There's no normal, so it's normal. El Panchi asks, I'm doing the affidavit of support for my wife. I moved back to the U.S. 6 months and have been working for 5 months. I don't have a W-2 for last year because I've been living abroad. I make $29,000 a year. Will that work? Well, it can work. It's up to the discretion of USCIS whether they'll accept that. I do file cases like this, and I've had success. I've always had success with it, but I've had colleagues say they have not. So if you really want to be safe, get a joint sponsor and see what they say, and do that. But it's up to USCIS discretion. But if you have pay stubs showing you have a good job, maybe an employer letter, and your job is something reliable, full time, that's a payroll, and it's a reliable company, all this kind of stuff, you could give it a shot. But it just depends on discretion at the end of the day with USCIS, and that's the best answer to that. I want to take a quick question. Mirza asked a question EB3 already kind of answered, so I'm going to skip that. Sonia says, does age difference cause a problem in K1 visa? No, not necessarily. In immigration in general, age is one of the things they look at to see if this relationship is real, but it won't necessarily cause a denial. It depends. They look, is this relationship real? Is it a fake relationship or not? And that's what your focus should be on. Sometimes people have different ages. The wife might be older than the husband. It is what it is. There's different types of relationships. Drop it as a victim of grand theft auto qualify for U visas. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't handle U visas, so I don't remember all the rules regarding it. If you go to USCIS.gov, they have a list of crimes qualify for U visa. Go check that out first and talk with an attorney that handles U's. We do at our firm. I don't do it myself. So if you want to schedule a private consultation, go ahead and email us. But I don't handle U visas myself, so I don't like to talk in public about something that I'm not really on top of. User 56 says, how long does it take to get a married-based green card for married U.S. citizen? It takes a while. That's the most honest answer you can get. Next up, what the processing time is EB3. We've already talked about that. It's going to be several years. If you're from India, for example, it's going to be a lot more years. That's the best answer I can give you. Sawa Somapaduri asks, how long can a B2 visitor visa person stay in the United States when the I-539 petition is pending? So a B2 tourist visa, as a person comes on a B2, typically they get 6 months. A 539 petition or application actually is a request to either change status or extend status. We're going to assume that you're extending your tourist visa status, and so you can remain in the United States with a timely filed I-539, which means you file the extension while your current visa status is still valid, and you can stay in the United States however long it takes to get that decision. But once the decision is made, if it's approved, you got to see how much time they gave you. If it's denied, you should leave immediately. But you can stay while the case is pending until a final decision is made. So that's that. But I don't know your paperwork. I haven't seen if you timely filed or not, if what kind of a change of status or extension of status. There's a lot going on there that I need to know to see if this would qualify or apply to you. Dana ask, my wife got her here on parole visa. There's no parole visa. It's either parole or visa. I applied for a green card on January. Still no approval advice. Yeah, that's only been 10 months. Things take longer. But I can't really advise because there's so much to know. You say you came on a parole visa. I'm not sure what a parole visa is. So we got to see what's actually happened. I need to have a private consultation to learn more about that. I do want to announce our winner of our free video consultation. The second one, Saima Rabbani. Just send me take a screenshot where you're watching this so I see your username is you, and email to me at info@jqqlaw.com, and we can schedule a private consultation, real quick one, to talk about the situation with your mother's case in private. And for those just tuning in, we give away free video consultation for those watching the live show. All you got to do is like and subscribe and write consultation in the comment section. My wonderful assistant Katrina will name someone. We have one more to give away in about 8 minutes, so stay tuned. It might be you, so it's gonna be fun. And as I always say, if you're interested in the marriage green card case, a fiance visa, download the ultimate marriage green card guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and get that. So I wish you all the best. Let's see. Next question. Paradigm Andrew on regulars. Does your firm handle inadmissibility matters? Well, it depends on what it is. A lot of what I do is during consultations to see if someone has inadmissibility. Inadmissibility means a person who can't enter the United States. So it could be for health reasons. It could be for previous immigration violations. It could be for criminal matters. It could be for terrorist matters. Some of these violations have nothing to do about them. Some do waivers. We typically don't do most types of waivers, but it depends on what the case is, and we make an exception depending on the strength of the case. So we could take it from there. I wish just the person has to email me and let me know what the inadmissibility is to see if it's something that we handle or if it's something that our office would handle. Just need more facts. Inadmissibility, the statute for INA, Immigration Nationality Act, section 212 has 10 distinct sections. We got to see what it is. For example, one section is if you falsely claim to be a U.S. citizen, you're inadmissible. Nothing we can do about that unless your person's maybe doing asylum, which we don't handle, or maybe if they have some sort of removal issues, they get forgiveness. Very hard to do. So just be mindful of that. But a lot more facts are needed to see what's best for that. On Instagram, Sana asks, how long does it take to get an appointment when a document goes to California Service Center? The question is way too vague. It depends on which document it is, what the kind of case it is. And so California Service Center doesn't even give an appointment. That's a service center that processes cases. They don't give appointments. So, Sanya, you really need to kind of break down a thing more. But when it comes to timelines, as I always say, it's all over the place. It's not something that can easily be answered because they're so inconsistent with the way they handle these timelines, and things get longer and longer, even though they promise that they're going to make order. So, you just got to wait and just wait for it to process, to play itself out. And we have a lot of questions here about timelines. I know it's important. I feel you hate to stay waiting so long for a decision to be made, but you got to let things play themselves out. That's the only thing we can do because we don't have control over this. Unless it's taking too long and you want to file a lawsuit and other complaints like that, that's something that's possible in some cases. But you got to just be mindful of that. It's just an inconsistent system. Okay, Nick asks, I'm from Nepal. Well, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We have several clients from Nepal. If you're from other countries, let me know. Happy to see how far the reach of this program is from all the world. So go ahead and announce what countries you're from so you have a better idea what's going on. With regard to the timeline delays, it's gotten really bad. USCIS had said they're going to finish up cases around 6 months when it comes to I-130s, for example, but that has not happened. They said they're going to get work permits out in like C9 category in 5-6 weeks. That happened for about 2 months and then went back to regular processing times. Advanced parole is taking 7 or 8 months. I have cases for reentry permits that are 4 years pending and not getting approved yet. It is pending. What's the point of a reentry permit that takes 4 years to get? So, and people ask how long things take. It's just no answer. It's such a wild system as to how it is. We have a comment. Let's see, just a second. No problem. Let it go. Okay, so next question. We have a person on TikTok says, my form I-751 just got approved in 2 business days. So there might be some sort of error there, but congrats. I mean, that's a wild thing to get done that fast. Alex Field asks, I'm in the process to remove my conditional. Good luck. It could take, this person did in 2 days. Having 2 days is something going on. That doesn't make sense, but maybe it's true. But it could be 6 months, it could be 2 years. It's all over the place as to how long I-751s are taking. Alex adds, hey, filed the marriage adjustment since February 2022. got the EAD after 8 months. Nothing after that. Any advice? Yeah, just wait. For your case. Now I don't know the details of your case. There might be problems with it that we need to deal with right now. But based on the information you gave me, if there are no problems with it, you just gotta wait until you get the the field office interview. My little prayer says I got the letter in the mail and everything. Well, that's good. Hopefully it's correct. This is about getting the I-75 approved in 2 days. Things happen. That's why I say when people ask me how long things take, 2 days for an I-751 is unheard of, but these things happen, and it's just how USCIS is. It's very inconsistent. Nikki asks, any idea when USCIS takes a response to an RFE for VAWA? No, there's no timelines for the USCIS to respond to something like an RFE, a request for evidence. So they say we want more documents, and you send it to them. It's not clear how long it'll take. The gentleman at the I-75 took 2 days. They submitted joint documents in a strong case. I've had cases with people for I-75 had 3 kids together, own 2 houses together, go on vacations every day, travel, and it still takes 6 months. So 2 days, it is what it is. Congrats, all I can say that you got that, and be prepared for citizenship sooner rather than later to get this all done. God's Love says cases being actively reviewed by USCIS. How long does it take to approve the I-130? So the active review thing is just something they say. It means they're reviewing your case. There's no definite timeline I could say. I don't know what kind of I-130 case you have, so it's something that keeps coming up. A lot of people that say I-130. It depends on what kind of I-130 you have, but it depends on the field office and your case. So let's say you got married I-130. If there's with adjustment of status, it's gonna have one timeline. If it's you're doing consular processing, it could be 6 months to a year and a half on average. So it's all over the place. Outfield asks, I've already submitted my case for removal conditions. I am traveling to Mexico, but I changed my last name. Is it okay to travel with my certified marriage copy? I'm asking because my passport has my single last name, of course. So the problem really is with the airline. So coming back to the United States, if you show your green card that has a new name, your marriage certificate, and your passport, they'll put 2 and 2 together and allow you to board. The airlines sometimes don't understand this, and also with TSA, the security aspects, they want the ticket that you buy to match your passport name. So typically in these cases, if you haven't updated your passport to reflect your new name, we say buy the ticket in your original last name that matches your passport. Have your marriage certificate with you. So once you're exiting the United States, all you need is a passport. When you're coming back in, the U.S. just needs to see the marriage certificate to show the name change so it can connect the green card with the passport. But the airline in the foreign country, for example, in Mexico, may not know what they're doing if they're not skilled, they don't have experience in this. So that's something you just have to deal with, unfortunately, and hopefully it'll go smoothly. It usually does, but it depends on who you're getting and how competent they are and what they do. I do want to announce our last raffle winner, and then we'll take a couple more questions. El Panchi PTY, El Panchi PTY is still watching. Take a screenshot of you're watching this and email it to me at info@jqklaw.com, and we can have a quick consultation on private about your situation. All right, Tima Amor asks, what happens if for some reason the I-129F doesn't get approved? Then it gets denied, and that's that. Snay asks, hello, sir, can we talk privately regarding a sound case? We have to schedule a consultation in general, but I don't handle sound cases, so I recommend talking with other attorneys for help on that. Dina asks, if a lawyer drops your case, does it affect the case? Not necessarily. It depends on how they drop it, what they say, and how the whole situation went down. But it doesn't necessarily, but it depends on the facts. And so I don't have enough information to be able to answer that here. I want to thank everyone who joined us today. God bless everybody. Political Asylum Lawyer says, hi, John, great stuff. Appreciate it. Good work that you're doing. We had a person to talk about asylum. That's a person we had to reach out to. But I want to thank everyone. We'll be back again next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific as we are our new regular time. And we take your questions live. In the meantime, check out the rest of our content on YouTube and our YouTube Clips page on Immigration Lawyer Talk or Immigration Lawyer Clips. On Instagram and stuff, we have hundreds and hundreds of, maybe thousands at this point, of clips talking about all this stuff. Just search YouTube and Google. You can find a lot of the content. We talk about really every subject has an answer to it. It's there. I've had people contact me and say they've just done their own cases based on watching all my videos. I can't recommend doing that because a case is different, but it's that the library is that big of how much we've covered on every topic, so it's going to help you a lot there. If you want to schedule a private consultation, all you got to do is email me, briefly describe your situation, and either myself or one of my associates will meet with you. There is a consultation fee depending on who the lawyer is handling the case and what their regular rate is, but just email us and we can let you know what that is and take it from there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all next week. God bless. Bye-bye.